Her best friend said, at girls' night, "Honestly, I'd cheat if I were you. He's boring." My girlfriend laughed and said, "Who told you I am not?" She didn't know her phone was connected to the car Bluetooth while I sat in the driveway, waiting to pick her up. When she opened the door, I handed her the keys and said, "Uber's more exciting anyway." So here's the thing about being the dependable guy. The reliable one. The one who shows up when he says he will, does what he promises, and doesn't create unnecessary drama. Society tells you that's what women want. That being steady and consistent is attractive. That having your life together is a turn on. Yeah, well, that's a load of garbage. I'm going to tell you about the night I learned that lesson in the most brutal way possible. And honestly, best thing that ever happened to me. But we'll get to that. My name's David, I'm 32, and I work as an accountant for a mid-sized manufacturing company in Ohio. Not the most exciting job, I know, but it pays well, has good benefits, and I'm home by 5:30 most days. I own my condo, drive a decent car, hit the gym 4 times a week, and have my finances in order. By all accounts, I had my life figured out. The condo was a 2-bedroom place I'd bought 3 years back. Nothing fancy, but it was mine. No roommates, no landlord, no drama. I'd furnished it carefully over time, piece by piece, making sure everything I bought was quality, the kind of stuff that lasts. I had a solid routine down. Wake up at 6, gym by 6:30, work by 8, home by 5:30, meal prep on Sundays, finances reviewed every Friday night. I know how that sounds. But there's something satisfying about having your life organized, about knowing where you stand. I'd been dating Amber for 3 years. We met through mutual friends at a barbecue. She was 29, worked in retail management at one of those upscale department stores, and had this infectious energy that drew people in. The kind of person who could walk into a room and immediately become the center of attention. She was always laughing, always had some story about her coworkers, always knew about the newest restaurant or event happening in town. I liked that about her initially. I'm more introverted, more measured. We seemed to balance each other out. She'd drag me to social events I would have skipped, and I'd provide the stability and calm she claimed she needed after dealing with chaos at work all day. The first year was good. We'd cook dinner together, watch movies, take weekend trips. Normal couple stuff. She seemed happy. I was happy. Year 2 is when I started noticing changes. She'd get restless during quiet nights in, started sighing when I'd suggest staying home, would scroll through her phone during conversations. I chalked it up to work stress. Year 3 is when Blake showed up. New guy at her store. Suddenly it was Blake this, Blake that. Blake had this brilliant idea. Blake closed this massive sale. Blake suggested this great lunch spot. Every single day Blake was part of the conversation. Every time I'd mention how much she talked about him, she'd get defensive. Tell me I was being insecure, that he was just a coworker, that I was reading into things that weren't there. So I backed off. That's what you do when you trust someone, right? Yeah, look where that got me. Or so I thought. Looking back now, I can see all the signs I ignored. The way she'd get bored during our quiet evenings at home. How she'd scroll through her phone while I talked about my day. The increasing frequency of girls' nights out. The new interest in her appearance that coincided with a new hire at her store. Some guy named Blake who she mentioned way too often for someone who was supposedly just a coworker. But I'm getting ahead of myself. 3 months before everything imploded, Amber started pushing hard for us to move in together. Her lease was coming up, and she wanted to find a place together. Told me it was the natural next step, that we'd been together long enough, that it would be more practical financially. She started sending me listings. Apartments with bigger kitchens, places with gyms in the building, condos near my work. She'd sit on my couch scrolling through rental sites, pointing out features she thought I'd like. I wasn't against the idea, but something in my gut was telling me to pump the brakes. I liked my space, liked my routine, and I wanted to be certain before taking that step. So I told her I needed time to think about it, that I wanted to be thoughtful about the decision rather than rushing. She did not take that well. Suddenly, I was being accused of not being serious about the relationship, of being emotionally unavailable, of not prioritizing her. All because I wanted to think about a major life decision. We had our first real fight. She cried, said she felt like I was stringing her along. I stayed calm, said I wasn't saying no, just not yet, that we could talk about it again in a few months. She didn't speak to me for 3 days, then came back acting like nothing happened, but something had shifted. She was colder, more distant, but I stuck to my guns. Looking back, my gut was screaming that something was off. That's when the girls' nights increased dramatically. What used to be occasional became every single Thursday, plus random Fridays. sometimes Saturdays. She'd text me in the afternoon. Going out with the girls tonight? Don't wait up. Or, Jessica needs me tonight. Girl crisis. Or, Rachel's having a rough time. Dinner and venting. Always vague. Always just believable enough that questioning it would make me look controlling. She'd come home late smelling like restaurant food. Immediately shower and get ready for bed. Wouldn't want to talk much. Just, it was fine. Same old stuff, you know how it gets. Then an hour on her phone before falling asleep, screen angled away from me. Nothing concrete, just enough to make that voice in the back of my head louder. But I pushed it down. Told myself I was being paranoid. The Thursday that changed everything started normal. Woke up at 6. Gym by 6:30. Work by 8. Regular day. Regular meetings. Around noon, Amber texted. Heading out with Jessica and Rachel tonight after work. Jessica's been dealing with ex drama all week. She needs us. Can you pick me up around 10:30 from Jessica's place? Sure, I typed back. No problem. What time you off work? 5, she said. Probably grabbing dinner first, then heading to Jessica's to hang. You're the best, thank you. That last part should have been a red flag. She only got extra appreciative when she felt guilty. Okay, babe, I sent. See you tonight. Have fun. She sent back a heart emoji. I finished my afternoon. Quarter-end reports. Client call. Boss meeting. Left work at 5:30 sharp. Hit the gym. Leg day. Full hour. Stopped at the grocery store after. Chicken, vegetables, meal prep supplies. Home by 7:30. Made dinner. Grilled chicken. Roasted broccoli. Rice. Ate while watching that World War II documentary I'd been working through. 8:30. Started meal prep. Cut vegetables. Seasoned chicken. Portioned everything. By 9:30, my fridge was stocked for the week. Cleaned the kitchen. Took a shower. Checked the time. 10:05. Jessica's place was 20 minutes away. I grabbed my keys, wallet, phone, put on a jacket. The temperature had dropped. Checked my gas tank through the app. 3/4 full. More than enough. Left at 10:15. Windows cracked. Cool night. Some podcast about financial planning playing. 20 minutes later, I pulled into Jessica's parking lot. Found a spot near her building. Texted Amber. Got here early. Take your time, no rush. She read it immediately. No response. I put my phone in the cup holder. Turned on music. Figured I'd wait a few minutes. That's when Amber's phone connected to my car's Bluetooth. See, she'd connected her phone to my car months ago. We'd been on a road trip and she wanted to play DJ. I never thought to remove the pairing because why would I? I trusted her. And she clearly forgot it was paired because what happened next? Yeah, my music cut out. There was a second of silence. Then I heard voices. Clear as day, like they were sitting in my car with me. It was Amber and her friends. I recognized Jessica's voice immediately, and another girl, Rachel, who worked with them. I should have disconnected right then. Should have turned it off. But I didn't. I sat there frozen as their conversation flooded through my speakers. Jessica was talking first. Something about her ex texting her again, wanting to meet up. The usual post-breakup drama. Then Rachel chimed in. This is where it gets fun. You should totally go see him, Rachel said. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? You're single now. Jessica laughed. I don't know. Feels like going backwards, you know? Sometimes backwards is fun, though, Amber said. Familiar is comfortable. There was a pause. Then Rachel said something that made my blood run cold. Speaking of fun, when are you going to do something about your situation, Amber? My situation? Amber asked, but I could hear the smile in her voice. What situation? Come on, Rachel said. You've been complaining about David for months. How bored you are. How predictable everything is. Jessica literally told me last week you were thinking about... I'm not thinking about anything, Amber cut her off. But there was no conviction in her voice. It was playful. Teasing. Jessica jumped in then. Amber, honey, I love you. But you need to make a decision. Either commit to David or move on. This in-between thing you're doing isn't fair to anyone. My hands were gripping the steering wheel now. My heart was pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. In-between thing? What in-between thing? I'm not doing anything, Amber said. But she was laughing. Literally laughing. Oh, please, Rachel said. We've all seen the way you look at Blake, and the way he looks at you. The tension is ridiculous. Blake's just a friend, Amber said. A friend you text until 2 a.m.? Jessica said. A friend you do coffee runs with 3 times a day? Come on, Amber. We're not stupid. There was a pause. Then Amber spoke again, and her tone had shifted, gotten more serious. Okay, fine, she said. Blake is interesting. He's fun. He makes work exciting. But that doesn't mean I'm doing anything wrong. Yet, Rachel said. You're not doing anything wrong yet. Another pause. Longer this time. Then Jessica, in a tone that sounded almost encouraging, said this. Honestly, I'd cheat if I were you. David's boring. He's stable and he's nice, but boring. You're 29, Amber. You should be having fun, not playing house with an accountant who gets excited about meal prep. They all laughed. All three of them. I felt something crack inside my chest. Something that had been holding everything together. And then Amber spoke. And with 5 words, she destroyed 3 years. Who told you I'm not? Silence. Then squealing. High-pitched, excited squealing like she'd just announced an engagement. Wait. What? Rachel practically screamed. Are you serious right now? Oh my God, Amber, Jessica said. How long has this been going on? I couldn't hear Amber's response. Not because the Bluetooth cut out, but because my ears were ringing. My vision had tunneled. Everything around me felt distant and muffled, like I was underwater. Who told you I'm not? She wasn't planning to cheat. She was already doing it. I sat there in my car, in that parking lot, while the 3 of them dissected my girlfriend's infidelity, like it was juicy gossip, like I was some punchline, some boring obstacle she'd finally gotten around to stepping over. They were talking about Blake, about when it started. Apparently it had been going on for about a month. Nothing serious, Amber claimed. Just fun. Just excitement. Just something to break up the monotony of dating someone stable. My phone buzzed. A text from Amber. Coming down now. I looked at my phone, then at the steering wheel, then at the apartment building where my girlfriend was about to walk out, completely oblivious to what I'd just heard. And something clicked in my brain. Something cold and clear and absolutely resolute. I wasn't going to cry, wasn't going to yell, wasn't going to make a scene. I was going to do exactly what I do best. Stay calm, stay controlled, and systematically remove this problem from my life. I reached over and disconnected her phone from the Bluetooth. The voices cut off mid-sentence. I sat back in my seat, took a deep breath, and waited. 2 minutes later, Amber came walking out of the apartment building. She was laughing at something, typing on her phone, probably texting Blake if I had to guess. She looked up, saw my car, and smiled. That same smile she'd given me 1,000 times before. Except now, it just looked fake. She walked over and opened the passenger door. Hey babe, she said, sliding into the seat. Sorry, lost track of time. You know how it is. I looked at her, really looked at her. And I saw a stranger? Yeah, I said. I know exactly how it is. She buckled her seatbelt, still looking at her phone. Thanks for picking me up. You're the best. I reached into my center console and pulled out my car keys. All of them. House key, car key, the spare key to her apartment she'd given me. I held them out to her. She looked up, confused. What's this? Your ride, I said. Well, former ride. You'll need to find another way home. Her face went from confused to concerned. David, what are you talking about? I'm talking about the fact that your phone connected to my car Bluetooth about 15 minutes ago. And I heard everything. I watched the color drain from her face in real time. It was almost satisfying. Almost. David, Save it, I said. I don't want to hear it. I'm not interested in explanations or excuses or whatever you think is going to fix this. You cheated. You laughed about it with your friends. You called me boring. And honestly, that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. But I'm also entitled to remove myself from the situation. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to take these keys, get out of my car, and find your own way home. Maybe call Blake. I hear he's fun. She was staring at me like I'd grown a second head. David, please. Let me explain. It's not what you think. It's exactly what I think, I said. You've been sleeping with Blake. For about a month, if I heard correctly. And you told your friends that I'm boring and predictable. So congratulations. You got what you wanted. Freedom from the boring, stable guy. Now get out. She started crying then. The whole performance. Tears. Trembling lip. The works. David, I made a mistake. I'm so sorry. It didn't mean anything. Blake doesn't mean anything. You're the one I love. If I'm the one you love, I said, voice flat, you've got a really strange way of showing it. I reached across her and opened the passenger door. Out. Now. She didn't move. Just sat there sobbing, probably waiting for me to cave. Waiting for me to comfort her and tell her it would be okay and that we'd work through this. Yeah, that wasn't happening. I pulled out my phone and opened the Uber app. Then I turned the screen toward her. See this? I said. I can either wait for you to get out voluntarily, or I can call you an Uber and sit here while you wait for it in the parking lot. Your choice. But either way, you're not getting back into this car. Something in my tone must have finally gotten through to her. She grabbed the keys from my hand, gave me one last desperate look, and got out of the car. I didn't watch her walk away. I put my car in reverse and left. The drive home was surreal. I kept expecting to feel something. Anger, sadness, devastation. But all I felt was cold certainty that I'd done the right thing. When I got back to my condo, I went straight to work. Started with my bedroom. Pulled out everything of Amber's that had accumulated over 3 years. Clothes, toothbrush, face wash, hair ties, slippers. I put it all in a garbage bag. Then the living room. The throw blanket she'd bought. The decorative pillows. The candles. The framed photos of us from trips and dinners and parties. All of it went in the bag. Kitchen next. Her special iced tea. The expensive granola. The vanilla creamer. The crackers. Gone. By the time I finished, I had 2 full garbage bags, and my apartment looked like mine again. No traces of her anywhere. Then, the digital purge. Blocked her number. Blocked her on every social media platform. Created an email filter to send anything from her straight to trash. I moved every photo of her into an album to delete later. Complete scorched earth. I wasn't going to give her the opportunity to manipulate me, to cry and promise to change. I knew that playbook. No thanks. I slept better that night than I had in months. The next morning, I woke up to 47 missed calls from Amber, 63 text messages. My phone had been on silent all night. I didn't read any of them. Just deleted everything and moved on. At work, my coworker Jennifer noticed something was off. "You okay?" she asked. "Ended things with my girlfriend last night," I said. Found out she was cheating. Her eyes went wide. "I'm sorry, David. That's rough." "It is what it is," I said. Better to know now. At lunch, Jessica called. I'd forgotten to block her. I answered, curious what angle they'd try. "Amber told me what happened," she said. "She's devastated. Can you please just talk to her?" "No," I said. Just like that. 3 years doesn't mean nothing. She loves you. She messed up, but people make mistakes. People make choices, I corrected. She chose to cheat. She chose to laugh about it with her friends. Those were decisions. And I'm making a decision too. I'm deciding I'm worth more than that. She really does love you, David. If that's what her love looks like, I said, I'll pass. I hung up and blocked her number too. Added Rachel to the block list as well. They'd all encouraged it. Every single one of them was complicit. Over the next few days, the mutual friends started reaching out. The Switzerland crowd who wanted to remain neutral, but also wanted to check in. See how I was doing. Get the full story? Word travels fast when a 3-year relationship implodes. I kept my responses simple and consistent. Amber cheated, I found out. We're done. End of story. No elaboration, no details about the Bluetooth situation, no emotional breakdowns. Just facts. Some people tried to push for more information. Asked if I was sure. Suggested maybe it was a misunderstanding. Maybe I'd overreacted. Maybe I should give her a chance to explain. I wasn't interested in relitigating it. The facts were clear. She admitted to cheating. I overheard her admit it while laughing about it with her friends. There was no ambiguity here. No room for interpretation. The ones who pushed too hard got cut off too. I wasn't going to surround myself with people who thought infidelity was negotiable, or who felt the need to defend her actions. If you can't respect my boundaries, you don't need to be in my life. About a week after the breakup, my buddy James called me. He'd been on a guy's trip when everything went down, so he was just hearing about it. "Bro," he said, "I heard about Amber." "That's rough." "Yeah," I said. "It was what it was. You doing okay?" "Honestly, better than I expected. Feel like I dodged a bullet." He laughed. "That's the spirit. Look, I'm having some people over Saturday for the game. You should come by. Get out of your head for a bit." I appreciated that. James was good people. Didn't try to psychoanalyze the situation or offer unsolicited advice. Just showed up and invited me to hang out. So I went. And it was exactly what I needed. Just some guys, some food, some football. Normal, drama-free existence. Nobody mentioned Amber. Nobody asked intrusive questions. We just watched the game, talked about regular stuff, and had a good time. At one point, James pulled me aside. "You know everyone's talking about what happened, right?" "I figured," I said. "Amber's been telling people her side of things, saying you overreacted, that it wasn't as bad as you made it seem." I shrugged. "Let her tell whatever story she wants. I know what I heard." "Good," he said. "Because between you and me, half our friend group thinks she's full of it anyway. The other half will figure it out eventually." I wasn't worried about the friend group politics. The people who mattered would understand. The ones who didn't weren't worth keeping around anyway. Life continued. Work stayed busy, which was good. gave me something to focus on other than the relationship wreckage. I threw myself into a few projects that had been on the back burner, picked up some overtime when it was offered, and started actually enjoying my routine again without someone constantly criticizing it. Turns out, when you're not constantly managing someone else's boredom and drama and need for excitement, you have a lot more energy for yourself. Who knew? About 3 weeks after the breakup, I was at the gym when I ran into Blake. Well, I didn't run into him. He approached me, looked uncomfortable as hell. "Hey man," he said, "can we talk?" I didn't stop my workout, just kept doing my reps. "Sure. Look," he said, "I know about everything, and I just wanted to say I didn't know she was in a relationship when things started." I paused mid-rep and looked at him. "You work with her. You knew she had a boyfriend. Everyone at your store knew. He had the decency to look ashamed." "Okay, yeah. But she made it sound like things were basically over, that you guys were on the verge of breaking up anyway." "Did she?" I said, going back to my workout. "That's interesting, because we were literally planning to move in together. But sure, basically over." Blake shifted his weight awkwardly. "Look, I'm not trying to make excuses. What happened was messed up. But for what it's worth, I ended things with her last week. That got my attention." "Oh yeah?" "Yeah. She's a lot. Drama, manipulation, constantly playing the victim. I realized pretty quick that I'd stepped into a situation I wanted no part of. I almost felt bad for him. Almost. But mostly I just felt vindicated." "Well," I said, "thanks for the warning. Little late, but appreciated." He nodded and left. I went back to my workout, feeling even better about my decision. If Blake, the exciting coworker she'd risked everything for, couldn't handle her for more than a month, that told me everything I needed to know about who she really was. 2 months post-breakup, I was doing great. Better than great, actually. I'd started dating again, casually. Nothing serious, just getting back out there. Remembering that I had value and options and didn't need to settle for someone who treated me like a backup plan. I'd also made some changes to my life. Started taking guitar lessons, something I'd always wanted to do but never made time for. Picked up hiking as a hobby. Started saying yes to more social events. Turned out I wasn't boring. I'd just been boring with the wrong person. Then I got a text from an unknown number. "David, it's Amber. Please don't delete this. I know I don't deserve to talk to you, but I need you to know how sorry I am. I made the biggest mistake of my life, and I think about it every single day. You were the best thing that ever happened to me, and I destroyed it. If there's any chance at all, that you'd be willing to talk to me, I would do anything to make this right. I love you. I never stopped loving you." I read it 3 times. Not because I was considering responding, but because I wanted to make sure I wasn't imagining the audacity. Then I blocked that number too. No explanation, no closure, no final conversation, just silence. Because here's the thing people don't tell you about being the reliable guy, the stable guy, the boring guy. You learn real quick who actually values those qualities and who just wants a safety net while they go chase excitement. Amber wanted excitement. She got it. And from what I heard through the grapevine, Blake wasn't the only one. After he ended things, she apparently went through a whole string of exciting guys. None of them lasted. None of them gave her the stability she'd taken for granted. And now she was alone, realizing that maybe boring and predictable weren't the worst things in the world. But that wasn't my problem anymore. About 4 months after everything went down, I was at a coffee shop working on a side project, financial consulting for small businesses, something to keep my mind sharp and make extra money on weekends. A woman approached my table, mid-20s, professional looking. "Excuse me," she said. "I don't normally do this, but I've seen you here a few times. Are you a financial consultant?" I looked up. Yeah. I'm an accountant, but I do consulting on the side." She smiled. "Perfect. I'm starting a business and I'm lost on the financial side. Any chance you'd be willing to chat about it?" "Sure," I said. "I've got time now." Her name was Olivia. She was starting an online boutique and needed help with books, taxes, and financial modeling. We talked for 2 hours. She was sharp, asked good questions, took notes. I found myself enjoying it. Not just teaching, but her. She wanted to understand, not just be told what to do. By the end, I'd agreed to help her set up her financial system. And then she asked if I was single. I wasn't expecting that, but I was interested. For the first time in 4 months. "I'm single," I said. "Yeah, I'd like that. Let's get the business stuff figured out first, then we can do dinner." "Perfect," she said. Over the next 3 weeks, we met 4 more times. I helped her set up bookkeeping software, walked her through tax implications, built a financial model. She was a quick learner. By our 4th meeting, she had a comprehensive plan. You're all set, I told her. Thanks to you, she said. What do I owe you? How about dinner instead? I said. We went to an Italian place that night. Talked for 3 hours. She told me about growing up wanting to do fashion but getting a business degree to be practical. About how she was ambitious but understood starting a business was hard. I told her about my life, my work, my approach to planning. I was honest about the breakup. 3-year relationship, girlfriend cheated, I found out, ended it immediately. She didn't judge, just said that sounded hard. Then she said, for what it's worth, I don't think you sound boring at all. You sound like someone who has his life together. And that's attractive. Something in my chest unclenched. That was 6 months ago. We've been dating ever since. Olivia thinks my stability is attractive. She appreciates that when I say I'm going to do something, I follow through. Her boutique launched 3 months ago, and it's doing better than projected. Revenue's up 40% from initial forecasts. She's already thinking about expansion. She hits me up sometimes with financial questions. Should she hire an employee or stay solo for now? Is this marketing expense worth it? How should she structure her pricing for wholesale versus retail? I help when I can. It's satisfying seeing her succeed. Last month, she brought up moving in together. Said her lease was coming up. Would I be interested in finding a place together? I told her I needed to think about it. No fight this time. She just said, okay, take your time. 2 weeks later, I said yes. We've been looking at places since. Saw 3 apartments last weekend. One was too small. One was perfect, but way overpriced. The third one is in the running. 2 bedrooms, good kitchen, parking for both cars. Going back for a second look next week. Her parents want to meet me. They're coming to town next month, taking us to dinner. She's nervous about it, but trying to play it cool. I'm not worried. Parents usually like me. Work's been solid too. Got assigned a major client last week. Manufacturing company expanding to 3 new locations. They need comprehensive financial restructuring. It's the kind of project that could lead to a promotion if I handle it right. My boss pulled me aside yesterday. Said he's impressed with how I've been performing. Asked if I'd be interested in a senior analyst position that's opening up in Q2. More money, more responsibility, small team to manage. I said yes. Interviews scheduled for next month. I ran into Amber one more time, about 8 months after the breakup. Grocery store on a Sunday afternoon. I was with Olivia, debating which cheese to get for some recipe. Amber was in the checkout line, alone. She looked different, thinner, hair shorter and a different color. She looked up and saw me. Saw Olivia. Her face went through about 6 emotions in 3 seconds. I didn't acknowledge her. Just turned back to Olivia and kept talking about cheese like Amber wasn't there. Let's get both, I said. We can try the burrata, and if that doesn't work, we have the mozzarella as backup. Olivia laughed and squeezed my hand. We walked right past Amber's checkout line. As we loaded groceries into the car, Olivia said, was that her? Yeah. You okay? Never better. And I meant it. 2 months post-breakup, I was doing great. Better than great. I'd started dating again, nothing serious. Just getting back out there. Went on a few dates through apps. A lawyer named Christine who talked about her ex the entire time. A nurse named Kelly who was nice, but we had 0 chemistry. A teacher named Amanda who seemed great until she mentioned she was still legally married but separated. I wasn't in a rush, just testing the waters, remembering that I had options. I'd also made some changes, started taking guitar lessons. Something I'd always wanted to do but never made time for when I was with Amber. Turned out I wasn't terrible at it. My instructor said I had good rhythm, just needed practice. Picked up hiking too. Found this group that did weekend trails. Met some cool people. No drama, no pressure, just folks who liked being outdoors. Started saying yes to more social events. James's cookouts. Work happy hours I used to skip. A book club one of my coworkers invited me to. Turned out I wasn't boring. I'd just been in a relationship that made me feel boring. Then I got that text from an unknown number. David, it's Amber. Please don't delete this. I know I don't deserve to talk to you, but I need you to know how sorry I am. I made the biggest mistake of my life, and I think about it every single day. You were the best thing that ever happened to me, and I destroyed it. If there's any chance at all, that you'd be willing to talk to me, I would do anything to make this right. I love you. I never stopped loving you. I read it once, then blocked that number too. No response, no closure, just silence. A few months back, Jessica reached out again. Different number. Apologized for her role in everything. Said she felt terrible about encouraging Amber. Said she'd been going through her own stuff and wasn't thinking clearly. Told me Amber had actually tried to get her to reach out on her behalf multiple times. Wanted Jessica to convince me to talk to her. Jessica finally told her no. Said what Amber did was wrong and she wasn't going to help fix it. I appreciated the honesty, the apology, but I didn't reinstate the friendship. Some bridges aren't worth rebuilding. Wished her well and left it at that. She understood. Said she got it. Hoped I was doing well. Last I heard through mutual friends, Amber's still single. Still going through guys. Nothing sticks. Blake wasn't the only one. There have been others since. One lasted 3 weeks. Another made it to 6 weeks. Current record holder is 2 months. Apparently, she's developed a reputation at her store. The dramatic one. The one who creates problems. Management's had to talk to her twice about keeping personal drama out of the workplace. Me? I'm planning that Colorado trip with Olivia next month. Booked a cabin in Estes Park. 4 days, 3 nights. Going to hit Rocky Mountain National Park. Do some serious hiking. Maybe see some elk. Olivia's been researching trails. Made a whole spreadsheet of options ranked by difficulty and scenic views. She's thorough like that. I like it. After that trip, we're signing a lease together. Found a place last week. 2 bedrooms, updated kitchen, washer, dryer, and unit, parking for both cars. Perfect location between both our jobs. Move-in date is set for 6 weeks out. We're already planning furniture. What to keep, what to buy new, what to get rid of. She's got good taste. Modern, but comfortable. Nothing too flashy. Yesterday, Olivia's boutique hit a major milestone. She called me excited. Sold out of an entire product line in 48 hours. Had to emergency order more inventory. Good problem to have. She's talking about expanding. Maybe hiring someone part-time to help with fulfillment. Maybe attending a trade show to find new suppliers. Maybe opening a small physical retail space in a year or 2. I'm helping her build out the financial projections for all of it. Cash flow models. Break-even analysis. Risk assessment. It's fun. Feels good being part of someone's growth instead of being told you're holding them back. Work's been good too. That promotion I mentioned? Interview went well. Really well. Boss said I'm the top candidate. Should hear something official by end of month. Got assigned a major client last week. Manufacturing company expanding to 3 new locations. Comprehensive financial restructuring project. Could run 6 months. Looks great on a resume. The team I'd be managing if I get the promotion? 3 people. All good. 2 are veterans who know their stuff. One's newer but eager. Should be fine. James invited me to his wedding next spring. Asked if I'd be a groomsman. I said yes. Bought the suit last week. Olivia's coming as my +1. She's excited. Already planning what she'll wear. Life's just good. Normal. Stable. Exactly what I want. I saw Amber's friend Rachel at a coffee shop last week. She pretended not to see me, but I caught her staring. Looked away quick when I made eye contact. Didn't approach. Smart move. The mutual friends who stuck around all get it now. Even the ones who were skeptical at first. Amber's pattern became obvious after a few months. They saw what I saw. Some have apologized for not believing me initially. I don't hold it against them. One guy, Chris, told me he ran into Amber at a bar a month ago. She was hitting on some dude who clearly wasn't interested. Looked miserable. He felt bad for her for a second, then remembered what she did, and the sympathy disappeared. I didn't ask for details. Didn't care to know more. That chapter's closed. Olivia and I spent last weekend hiking. Found this trail we'd never been to. Moderate difficulty, about 6 miles. Views were incredible. Packed sandwiches, found a good spot by a creek, had lunch there. Talked about random stuff. Her family. My work. What we want to do with the 2nd bedroom in the new place. Office. Guest room. Combination. She fell asleep on my shoulder for a bit. Just sitting there by the creek. I let her rest. No reason to wake her. That's the kind of life I have now. Peaceful. Uncomplicated. No constant drama or need for excitement or validation from multiple sources. My parents asked about Olivia last time we talked on the phone. When am I bringing her home? They want to meet her. I told them probably Christmas. Give us time to get settled in the new place first. Make sure everything's solid. They approved. Said she sounds good for me based on what I've told them. Mom already likes her. Dad's reserved judgment, but that's just how he is. The condo's going on the market soon. Real estate agent came by yesterday. Did a walkthrough. Said it should sell quick. Good location. Well maintained. Fair price. Going to use that money as down payment on something bigger down the line. Maybe a house in a couple years if everything keeps going well. Olivia and I talk about that sometimes. Future plans. What we want. Where we see things going. Kids eventually, maybe. Not for a while, but someday. It's all very mature. Healthy. Adult. Everything with Amber was chaos pretending to be a relationship. This is actually a relationship. I deleted those photos from my phone last month. The ones I'd put in that album to delete later. 30 days turned into 8 months, but I finally did it. Clicked through and deleted every single one. Felt nothing when I did it. Just freed up storage space on my phone. Olivia's meeting my friends this weekend. James is having a cookout. She's excited. Little nervous, but excited. I told her they'll love her. And they will. She's easy to be around. No drama. No games. Just a good person who appreciates having someone reliable in her life. That's my story. Found out girlfriend was cheating through car Bluetooth. Ended it immediately. Blocked her everywhere. Met someone better. Moving forward. No revenge plots. No trying to ruin her life. Just moved on. And that worked out perfectly. Guys, we are so close to hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps hit that 100,000 mark. Thanks for making this dream come true. I became the only man in a house full of women. Paid every bill they handed me while they labeled everything girls only, and still excluded my wife. When they booked a Hawaii trip with my money, I canceled it at the airport and watched their matching outfits melt down. Hey Reddit, my family treated me like an ATM they could boss around, exclude, and guilt trip whenever they felt like it. I finally snapped and cut them off, but oh boy, they did not take that well. Before it all blew up, here's what happened. I'm David, 28, married to Lucy, who honestly deserves hazard pay for dealing with my family. I always tell people I didn't grow up in a regular home. I grew up in a constant argument. Some kids have bedtime stories. My bedtime soundtrack was my parents yelling through the walls. My mom, Charlotte, had a talent for dramatic pauses, and my dad's specialty was slamming doors like he was in a competition. My dad passed away years ago after a long stretch of problems. It wasn't sudden, it was just draining. The house felt weird afterward, not quiet, just heavy. Charlotte didn't handle it well. She'd walk around sighing like she was the star of a tragic play. I remember one night she looked at me and said, "I don't know how I'm supposed to do this alone." So naturally, I got drafted as the replacement adult. Within a week, my Aunt Scarlett and her daughter Megan temporarily moved in. Scarlett said, "We'll just stay until things calm down a little." 13 years later, they're still there. Megan grew up into the human version of a nodding emoji. If Scarlett or Charlotte said the moon was square, Megan would just go, "Yeah, I guess." And then there's my sisters, the twins, Brittany and Tiffany. If you've ever wondered what would happen if a pair of makeup influencers came to life with echoing Valley Girl, literally accents, that's them. They move in sync, talk in sync, complain in sync. They even breathe in sync sometimes, and it freaks Lucy out. First time Lucy met them, we were at dinner, and the twins were arguing over their shoes. "These are creamy beige," Brittany said, holding her foot up like she was modeling for a catalog. Tiffany gasped, "No, they're soft almond." Lucy leaned over and whispered, "Isn't that the same thing?" "Don't say that out loud," I whispered back. "They'll combust." The twins also have this tiny purse dog named Baby, who wears more outfits than I do. They treat that dog like royalty. Baby once sneezed, and Tiffany panicked so hard she yelled, "Oh my God, she's literally dying." Baby was not dying. Baby was bored. After Dad passed, I was basically shoved into the man of the house role. At first, it was chores and pressure. Fix the sink, handle the problems, be the emotional support animal. But once I was older, working, and living with Lucy, it turned into bills. Fix the sink? Me. Pay half the household costs? Me. Install shelves because Scarlett wanted a cute reading corner? Me again. So yeah, I was paying for 2 households, while only getting the privilege of living in one. Whenever I tried pulling back a little, Charlotte would hit me with lines like, "After everything I've done for you." And Scarlett would add, "Some of us don't have the luxury of ignoring family." Translation: keep paying. Lucy saw all this and handled it better than most would. She's steady, calm, not easily intimidated. But even she had moments of side-eye during visits. The amount of time the twins spent talking about themselves was unreal. Once, Brittany asked Lucy, "Do you think this angle makes my jawline pop?" Lucy blinked. "It's a picture of your elbow." "Yeah, but like, the vibe," Brittany said. And Lucy nodded because she didn't know what else to do. The girls' only outing started around 3 years ago. At first, I didn't mind. They'd go for ice cream or watch some movie together. Brittany acted like it was a groundbreaking cultural event. "It's like so empowering," she told me once. They went to see a PG-13 rom-com. Very empowering. Lucy even got invited to some of the early stuff. One time they took her ice skating. When she came home, she tossed her gloves on the counter and said, "I spent 20 minutes watching Tiffany yell at her skates." What did she say? I asked. She said they were personally attacking her toes. Sounds about right. They also did a pottery class. Lucy enjoyed it until Brittany screamed because her clay wasn't smooth enough and blamed the instructor for sabotaging her art career. But slowly, Lucy stopped getting invited. At first, she gave them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it was last minute, she said. The weird shift started pretty quietly. One Saturday morning, Lucy got a text from Brittany. "We're going ice skating again? Want to come?" Lucy looked at me and said, "Should I go?" I told her, "Yeah, it can't be worse than the last time." I was wrong. It was worse. When she came home that afternoon, she dropped her jacket on the chair and just stared at the wall for a second, like she needed to reboot her brain. "You okay?" I asked. "Tiffany asked the instructor if he could fix the ice because it was too slippery," she said. "It's ice." "Yeah," Lucy said. "Exactly." After that, the invites slowed down. One day, Lucy saw on Instagram that they had gone to a pottery workshop. Brittany had posted a selfie holding a lopsided pot with the caption, "Talent just comes naturally." Next slide. Tiffany's identical pot with the exact same caption. They even used the same emoji. Lucy scrolled through it and said, "Huh, I guess they didn't think of inviting me this time." I texted Charlotte asking, "Hey, what's with the pottery thing?" Lucy would have loved that. Charlotte replied with, "It was last minute. Don't start." Which, if you've ever dealt with my mom, is her signature way of saying, "Shut up." Lucy shrugged it off. "It's fine," she said. They wanted sister time. Except it wasn't sister time, because Scarlett and Megan were also there, matching aprons and all. Megan even posted a blurry picture of her clay bowl, captioned, "Fun day with the girls." Megan is basically an echo of whatever the group wants. Lucy looked at me and said, "Okay, maybe it's not fine." The next event was a mini road trip. I only found out because Tiffany kept posting short clips from the passenger seat, wind blowing her hair everywhere, her yelling, "Road trippy," in that pitch dogs can hear. The caption said, "We've been planning this all month," when the excuse they gave Lucy was, "Oh, sorry, it literally just came up." Lucy wasn't mad at first. She was confused. "Did I do something weird?" she asked me while we were cooking dinner. Like, did I say something they didn't like? "No," I said. "Your only mistake was having a working brain." She laughed a little at that, but it didn't erase the look on her face. That kind of quiet disappointment hits harder than yelling. So I tried bringing it up again with Charlotte. I said, "Why isn't Lucy getting invited anymore? She didn't do anything wrong." Charlotte gave her classic, long, dramatic sigh. "David, please don't be difficult. This isn't a big deal." "It kind of is," I said. "It's girls only," she shot back. "Lucy is a girl," I reminded her. Charlotte paused like this was brand new information. Then she said, "Well, she's not their kind of girl?" "Right. Because she wasn't obsessed with matching outfits or screaming about vibes." A week later, they went to a concert. Brittany texted in the family chat, "Ugh, traffic is so bad going to the concert," and then immediately deleted the message. Probably realized Lucy was in the chat. The twins aren't smart enough to hide their tracks. They just panic and hit delete like it solves everything. Lucy saw it anyway because she had notifications on. She just said, "Oh, okay then." And no crying, no yelling, just quiet acceptance. Honestly, that stung way more. When the next event came around, a backyard cookout, they didn't even pretend to hide it. Brittany posted a picture of Baby the dog sitting at the picnic table wearing sunglasses. The caption said, "Girls' Day Cookout. No boys allowed," which was extra funny considering their definition of no boys apparently included Lucy now. Lucy and I were sitting on our couch watching a movie when she saw the post. She locked her phone and said, "Well, guess that answers that." "Want me to say something?" I asked. She shook her head. They know exactly what they're doing. And honestly, she wasn't wrong. It wasn't just the lack of invitations. It was the tone they used whenever Lucy was brought up. Brittany acted like Lucy was outdated software. Tiffany acted like Lucy was too serious because she didn't want 10 pictures taken of her eating a hot dog. Scarlett once said, "Lucy is sweet, but she's not bubbly." The twins need bubbly. Yeah, because that's what family relationships should be built on. Carbonated personalities. The more they excluded her, the more obvious it became that this wasn't about girl time. This was about control, cliques, and whatever imaginary hierarchy the twins used to measure self-worth. The breaking point, before things went nuclear, was when Lucy tried reaching out to Megan. She messaged her something simple like, "Hey, haven't seen you in a while. Hope everything's good." Megan read it instantly and didn't reply. An hour later, Megan posted a picture with the twins captioned, "Couldn't ask for better company." Lucy looked at me and said with a tired smile, "I give up." There was no dramatic moment, no screaming, no fight. Lucy just quietly stepped back from them because they made it extremely clear she wasn't welcome. And watching her deal with that did something to me. It pulled a tension wire tight in a way that didn't snap yet, but you could hear it stretching. This wasn't just girls-only outings anymore. This was a pattern, and patterns eventually lead somewhere, usually downhill. Charlotte's birthday has always been a big deal in my family. Not surprise party with balloons and a catered dinner big, but more like everyone drops what they're doing and shows up. Even when things were rough, even when my parents were fighting over who forgot to buy milk, we still did the birthday dinner. Same restaurant every year, same booth if we were lucky, a tiny bit of consistency in a house that had none. So this year, Lucy and I did the normal thing. We bought gifts, cards, wrapped everything nicely. Lucy even picked out this really thoughtful scarf for Charlotte. Soft fabric, her favorite color, something she knew Charlotte would actually wear. I wrote a whole message in the card because I'm apparently still that son who tries. A week before her birthday, I texted Charlotte, "Hey, what time is dinner next weekend?" She replied, "Dinner. We already celebrated. I had my birthday with the girls on Saturday." I stared at my phone so long Lucy thought it froze. "What happened?" she asked. "They already celebrated," I said. "Already?" She looked genuinely confused. "Did we miss something?" "Apparently we missed everything," I said. Lucy set the scarf down and kind of blinked at it like it had betrayed her. "Wait, are you serious?" I texted back. "When were you going to tell us?" Charlotte sent one of her classic lines. "David, please don't make this dramatic. It was just easier this way." Easier for who? Certainly not for the people who rearranged their schedules for a dinner that never existed. I said, "So what do we do with the gifts?" She responded, "You can drop them off later." Right, drop them off, like we were UPS. Lucy sighed, sat back on the couch, and said quietly, "Wow, okay." It wasn't even anger, just this soft disappointment that hits way harder. She had put real thought into that gift. It wasn't some last-minute Amazon purchase like the twins usually did. Speaking of the twins, Brittany and Tiffany were already posting their birthday pictures online. Matching dresses, matching smiles, matching captions. One of them wrote, "Celebrating the Queen. Best girls' day ever." They even had a pink cake with Charlotte's name on it. A fully decorated cake. With sparklers. Lucy tilted her head. "So they planned this in advance." "Oh yeah," I said. "Definitely last minute. Just like they always say." A few hours later, Brittany texted the family group chat, the one we were still in back then. "Yesterday was literally so perfect." Lucy nudged me and whispered, "Bet they practiced that caption." I texted Brittany privately, "Why didn't you guys tell us about the dinner?" She replied 3 minutes later, We didn't think you'd care?" Also, Lucy gets bored at restaurants, lol. Lucy saw that over my shoulder. "I get bored?" she repeated. "I've literally sat through Tiffany explaining eyelash glue for 40 minutes. I laughed because that was true. Tiffany once gave a TED talk about fake lashes at the dinner table. I almost fell asleep face first into my mashed potatoes. I called Charlotte because texting wasn't cutting it. When she answered, she did the annoyed sigh thing immediately. "David, what now?" I said. "It's weird that we weren't invited. We go every year." She said, "This wasn't family dinner. This was a girls' outing." "Lucy is a girl," I pointed out. "That's different," she snapped back. "How is that different?" I asked. Charlotte hesitated, then said, "She's not part of that circle." "Circle," I repeated. "Are we in high school now?" Before she could answer, I heard Tiffany's voice in the background. "Mom, tell him he's literally making this weird." Then Brittany chimed in, "It wasn't that deep." "Yeah, not deep, just hurtful." Lucy touched my arm and mouthed, "It's okay," but it wasn't. Not anymore. Charlotte said, "You can come by and give me the gifts later. I'm busy right now." Busy, with the twins hovering around her like they're her personal cheer squad. When the call ended, Lucy just sat there quietly for a moment. Then she said, "I really thought, birthdays were for everyone." "They used to be," I said. "Back when people actually gave a crap." We still decided to drop off the gifts because we didn't want to stoop to their level. Lucy even insisted on coming with me. "I'm not hiding," she said. "I didn't do anything wrong." When we arrived, Charlotte opened the door but didn't invite us in. She stood there with that look, annoyed, impatient, like we were door-to-door salespeople interrupting her afternoon. "Here," I said, handing her the gift bags. She took them without saying thank you. Lucy said, "I hope you like the scarf." Charlotte's answer? "Uh-huh." Then Brittany and Tiffany appeared behind her, in matching oversized sweaters, sipping iced coffees and glaring at us like we had shown up uninvited to a royal banquet. Brittany whispered, loudly. Awkward. Tiffany whispered back, even louder. Why are they making this a thing? Lucy clenched her jaw but stayed polite. Happy birthday, she said. Charlotte just nodded and closed the door. Not even a full goodbye. Just door in our faces. Back in the car, Lucy buckled her seatbelt and stared ahead. I'm done trying, she said. Not angry, just tired. That's when it hit me. Everything was sliding into a direction I hadn't seen before. Not just exclusion, not just rudeness. Something more deliberate. Something that felt like they wanted Lucy and me on the outside. And something in me shifted too. A quiet, steady line got drawn. I didn't say anything dramatic out loud. I just started paying closer attention. And it didn't take long to see where it was headed next. If Charlotte's birthday was the moment the red flags started multiplying, the Hawaii trip was the moment those flags unionized and formed a marching band. So here's the setup. Every single year since I was a kid, our family did one big vacation together. Sometimes it was a beach rental, sometimes a cabin, sometimes a place with more bugs than walls, but still, it was family vacation. Even when my dad was around and my parents were basically reenacting their own private war, we still went. This year, no one said a thing. No dates, no hints, no planning. Nothing. The group chat was quieter than Megan in a room full of opinions. Then, one random morning, Lucy walked into the living room holding her phone like it was radioactive. David, she said, voice flat, you're gonna want to see this. I took her phone. Brittany was at the airport in a neon pink Hawaiian shirt over her bikini top, hair curled like she was auditioning for a shampoo commercial. Tiffany was behind her making duck lips with a lei around her neck. Baby the dog was wearing sunglasses. The caption, Hawaii, here we come. Girls only. I blinked hard. Lucy said, Are they going to Hawaii? Oh, they're going, I said. Question is, how did they pay for it? Because Brittany had tagged the airline, and for half a second, a little record locator code flashed on screen when she panned past her boarding pass. I typed the code into the airline's Manage Booking page with my last name, and it pulled right up. Lucy leaned in. No way. The contact name and email were mine. The billing info was mine. Every receipt had my card on it. Traveler names, Charlotte, Brittany, Tiffany, Scarlett, Megan, and Baby listed as a service animal, which Baby absolutely is not. Lucy covered her mouth. They used your name and money without telling you. Without telling me, I said, and with the confidence of people who have never faced consequences. I clicked through the confirmations. Hotel booked with my card. Car rental with my card. Some random luau package with my card. It looked like I was the proud planner of a luxury vacation for 6 grown women and a purse dog. Lucy whispered, They basically robbed you, with enthusiasm. Another story popped up. Tiffany screamed into the camera, We're literally going to get tan and drink out of pineapples! Brittany leaned in and yelled, Can't wait to relax without drama! Girls only! Lucy stared. Relax without drama, she repeated, while committing credit card fraud. Something in my soul clicked into place. Not rage, not sadness, just clarity. Lucy asked, What are you thinking? That they're about to experience the consequences of thinking my wallet is community property, I said. We waited until the boarding line started moving, not because I'm a monster, but because timing matters. Then I opened the airline app. I hit cancel trip. The app threw up a warning about fees and refund rules. I confirmed anyway. The booking flipped to canceled on my screen. Next, I canceled what I could on the hotel and car reservations. Anything that wouldn't let me cancel, I removed my card from and called to flag as unauthorized. If they wanted a girls-only trip, they could fund it girls-only style. 10 minutes later, my phone started vibrating like it was trying to escape the apartment. Charlotte. David, fix this. Now. Brittany. Mom is crying. What did you do? Tiffany. They won't let us board. They said it's canceled. Scarlett. David, this is childish and cruel. How dare you humiliate us? Megan. They said we need to go to the counter. What do I say? Lucy read over my shoulder. Should we feel bad? Nope, I said. Not even a little. Brittany sent a voice message. I played it on speaker. David, why would you do this? You're literally ruining our vibes. They made us step out of line in front of everyone. Baby is traumatized. In the background, Baby barked once, like even she was judging them. Lucy sat back on the couch and whispered, This is the funniest thing I've ever witnessed. Then Charlotte texted, We will talk. Expect me soon. Lucy raised her eyebrows. She's coming here, isn't she? Oh, yeah, I said. And she's bringing a storm. I knew Charlotte was coming before she even pulled into the parking lot because she called me 3 times in a row without leaving a voicemail. That's her signature move. The I'm too angry to speak, but also too angry not to call combo. Lucy peeked through the blinds and said, Red SUV, she's here. Wonderful, I said. Let me go prepare my spirit. Charlotte didn't even make it up the stairs quietly. She stomped like she was trying to shake the entire building. Then came the banging. Bang, bang, bang. David, open this door right now! Lucy took a deep breath. Be calm. Don't let her bait you. Oh, trust me, I said. I'm fresh out of bait. I opened the door a crack. Hi. Charlotte shoved right past me like she was a cop executing a warrant. Don't hi me, she snapped. She walked straight into the apartment, scanning everything like she was evaluating her disappointment. Lucy stood there, arms crossed. Please don't touch anything. Charlotte whipped around. Oh, I'm sorry, did I raise a disrespectful son and daughter-in-law? Yes, I said. You did. Lucy hid a smile behind her hand. Charlotte ignored us and went straight for the entry table, where she grabbed my mail and tossed it on the floor like she was demonstrating her emotional state through interpretive littering. You embarrassed your entire family today, she shouted. I shrugged. Well, they embarrassed my credit card first, so I guess we're even. She gasped like I'd committed a federal offense. You canceled our trip. No, I said calmly. I canceled the trip booked under my account and paid for with my card. You could have talked to us, she said dramatically. Oh yeah, I said, because you all communicate so well. Charlotte marched into the living room, knocking over the small ceramic bowl on the table. It rolled across the floor, clinking like it was trying to escape the drama. Lucy stepped between her and the rest of the apartment. Charlotte, you can't just walk around causing a mess. This is our home. Oh, I'm sorry, Charlotte snapped. I didn't realize respect only applies one direction in this marriage. I raised a hand. Actually, the lack of respect is kind of the point. Then my phone buzzed again. Brittany, please tell Mom to come back to the airport. They said we can maybe fix it if the card owner comes. Not happening, I muttered, turning off notifications. That's when Charlotte hit her go-to guilt trip voice. Soft, wounded, dramatic. We are your family, David. You don't turn your back on family. Yeah, I said. Yet here we are. You ruined everything, she said. Funny, I said. That's exactly how I describe you using my identity to book a luxury vacation. Lucy added, also you excluded us and pretended it was normal. Charlotte waved her off. This isn't about you, Lucy. Everything is about Lucy, I corrected. She's my wife. Charlotte scoffed like that was optional. Then, while she was mid-rant, I picked up my phone and started ripping through every provider account tied to my email. Lucy raised an eyebrow. Are you doing what I think you're doing? Oh, yes, I said. Today is the day. What are you doing? Charlotte demanded. Cutting the cord, I said. She blinked. What cord? The money cord, I said. The bills cord. The David pays for everything while getting treated like a doormat cord. Charlotte frowned. You wouldn't. I tapped the confirmation button. Wi-Fi account? Canceled. Electricity account in my name? Terminated. Phone plan I paid for? Removed them. Streaming services? Logged out everywhere and canceled. Auto pay for groceries? Gone. Random subscription Brittany had signed up for with my card? Deleted so fast my thumb got whiplash. Then I switched credit cards entirely and froze the one they had memorized. Lucy said, You're changing your card info too? Absolutely, I said. This is a full cleanse. Charlotte's jaw dropped. You are sabotaging your own family. I'm setting boundaries, I corrected. You should try it sometime. What are we supposed to do without the bills paid? She demanded. Pay them yourselves, I said. Crazy concept, I know. She looked physically offended. You can't just abandon us. I didn't abandon anyone, I said. I stopped sponsoring a group who treats my wife like an outsider and treats me like an ATM with legs. Lucy's eyes widened slightly. She wasn't expecting that line, but she looked proud in that quiet, supportive way she does. Charlotte pointed at Lucy. This is her fault. She's turning you against us. No, I said. You did that on your own. She just witnessed it. Charlotte finally stepped back toward the door, furious and shaking her head. If this is how you want to be, then fine. Just remember who raised you. Trust me, I said. I couldn't forget even if I tried. Lucy exhaled hard the moment the door closed behind her. Are you okay? She asked. I nodded. Yeah, actually, yeah. She smiled a little. You finally did it. Yep, I said. I unsubscribed from my family. She laughed, leaned her head on my shoulder, and said, Honestly? Good. But the chaos wasn't done. Not even close. Charlotte and the twins weren't the type to go quietly. They regrouped. They plotted. They came back swinging. After Charlotte's dramatic exit from our apartment, Lucy and I had about 24 hours of silence, which in my family is basically a solar eclipse. Rare, eerie, and a sign that something unsettling is about to happen. Around noon the next day, my phone buzzed with a text from Scarlett. Family meeting. Tonight. 7. Mandatory. Mandatory. Like we were employees at some dysfunctional company. Lucy glanced at the message and said, "Sounds fun. I'm expecting snacks at least," I replied. We showed up to Charlotte's house at 7 sharp. I was already preparing myself mentally, and Lucy whispered, "No sarcasm unless necessary." "With this group," I said, "it'll be necessary." When Charlotte opened the door, she had that tight-lipped expression she saves for when she wants to look composed, but is seconds from exploding. She motioned us inside without speaking, which was a first. Usually she greets me with a lecture. The living room was a scene. Brittany and Tiffany sitting on the couch in matching sweatsuits, arms folded, glaring like I had ruined their birthday Christmas, and senior prom all at once. Scarlett sat on the recliner like she was presiding over a trial. Megan sat next to her, nodding at nothing, staring at us like she had been instructed to. As soon as we sat, Charlotte launched in. "You two owe this family an apology." Lucy and I exchanged a look, that subtle married people telepathy, where both parties say, "What the hell?" without moving their lips. "For what exactly?" I asked. Scarlett huffed. "Don't play dumb." Brittany sniffled dramatically. "We literally almost missed our vacation because of you." Tiffany chimed in. "We were humiliated at the airport. Humiliated." Lucy raised an eyebrow. "You mean the vacation you booked with David's name and money without telling him?" Tiffany blinked. "You're being so dramatic right now." "Dramatic?" Lucy repeated. "You committed fraud." Scarlett waved a hand. "Let's not exaggerate." "I'm not exaggerating," Lucy said. "You stole his identity to book a trip?" Megan nodded along like a bobblehead toy and whispered, "Yeah, but it was for a good reason." Lucy turned to her. "A good reason?" Megan shrunk back. "I don't know. I'm just saying what they said." "Exactly." Charlotte took a deep breath, trying to steer the conversation back to whatever point she thought she had. "This isn't about the trip anymore. This is about the post." I frowned. "What post?" Scarlett sighed dramatically. "Don't act clueless." "The post about us online." "Ah, the Reddit thread. The one they somehow found. Because they can't mind their own business even on the internet." I'd posted a shorter version earlier from a throwaway. This is the full update. Charlotte continued. "You made us look like monsters." "Well," I said, "I didn't name anyone." "You didn't have to," Tiffany snapped. "Anyone who knows us knows it was us." Lucy crossed her arms. "So you're mad he told the truth?" Scarlett glared. "He told his version of the truth." David's dry humor kicked in before I could stop it. "Sorry, let me go back and rewrite the part where you used my credit card without permission." Charlotte ignored the jab. "You painted us as selfish and exclusive." "Because you are," I said. "You literally said we exclude you," Brittany added, offended. "You do," I said. "We don't," Tiffany cried. Lucy held up a finger. "Okay, quick check. How many times have you invited me in the last 3 months?" Tiffany bit her lip. "Well, you wouldn't have liked the stuff we did." "What did you do?" Lucy asked. "Pottery, concerts, cookouts, road trips?" Lucy shook her head. "All things I do like." Brittany huffed. "But not with us." "Exactly," Lucy said. That shut them up for a second. Just a second. Charlotte pointed at me again. "You need to apologize for embarrassing us." "No," I said simply. Scarlett gasped like I slapped her with a Bible. "Excuse me?" "No," I repeated. "I'm not apologizing because I didn't lie." Charlotte slammed her hand on the coffee table. "Then this family is done with you," Lucy whispered under her breath. "Finally." I held her hand and stood. "If that's how you feel, then okay. We're done." Brittany let out a gasp like she was auditioning for a soap commercial. "He doesn't even care." I shrugged. "Not anymore." We left. Lucy didn't speak until we got in the car. "Well," she said, "that went about how I expected." "Honestly," I said, "I thought there'd be more screaming." Same," she said, kind of disappointed. We laughed the whole drive home. But the next morning, that's when things got peak ridiculous. I opened our apartment door to head to work, and there it was. A bright orange piece of paper taped to the door. Eviction notice. Lucy came over, stared at it, and muttered, "No, absolutely not. They did not just do this." I peeled it off. The grammar was, well, very Charlotte-coded. Words spelled wrong. Legal terms missing. It literally said, Eviction for being disrespect. Lucy crossed her arms. They didn't even try. I called our landlord. Hey, am I being evicted? I asked casually. She laughed. What? No. Who told you that? No one, I said. Just confirming. It was fake, obviously. Lucy shook her head. Next, they'll send a fake subpoena written in glitter pen. I tucked the paper into a drawer. Not to keep, just to document. Lucy put a hand on my back. We're done with them, David. Yeah, I said. We really are. The first 48 hours after the fake eviction notice were honestly the quietest moments Lucy and I had experienced since the whole mess began. Not peaceful quiet, though. The kind of quiet where you know a storm might be coming, but also maybe the storm forgot your address. Then Charlotte texted, "The electricity is off. Fix it." I read it out loud to Lucy while she buttered toast. She nodded calmly. Yeah, that'll happen when the person you treated like the utilities department quits. I replied with, "Not my house anymore." 30 seconds later, a paragraph arrived. Charlotte had typed so quickly, her message looked like alphabet soup. You've abandoned us. We can't live like this. I put my phone down and took a bite of my breakfast. First peaceful meal I'd had in weeks. Next came Scarlett. The Wi-Fi stopped working. Megan can't do her schoolwork. Lucy leaned over my shoulder. Isn't Megan 22? Yes, I said. But apparently she still has homework assigned by the twins' TikTok feed. Scarlett followed up with, you need to reconnect the service. We rely on it. I responded with, so reconnect it. There was a long pause, the kind of pause where you can practically hear a guilt tripper rebooting. Then, wow, after everything we've done for you. Lucy laughed so hard she almost choked on her toast. Within 2 hours, Brittany and Tiffany joined the group meltdown. Brittany, our phones won't work, OMG? Tiffany, it says we're not on Dadvid's plan anymore? What did you do? Dadvid, Lucy whispered. New name unlocked. I replied, correct. You're no longer on my phone plan. Brittany instantly sent 3 voice messages. I played one. David, I can't call anyone. This is literally illegal. You can't just cancel phones, we need our phone-ease. In the background, Tiffany yelled, how am I supposed to post anything? Lucy leaned back on the couch. I hate them, but this is better than TV. By lunchtime, chaos had evolved. Charlotte texted, we can't unlock the thermostat, it's asking for a code, give it. Yes, I said. The thermostat I bought and installed and connected to my email. Lucy sipped her coffee. You should make them guess the code. Let them treat it like an escape room. I almost did. But the code wasn't a code. It was my login, because I was the account owner. Charlotte. It's cold in here. Wear a sweater. Brittany. I can see my breath. Lucy. Good. Maybe they'll freeze into silence. Not likely. By evening, Scarlett tried a different tactic. The classic guilt trip revival. Your father would be ashamed. Yes. The ultimate card. The one she loved to pull whenever logic failed. I wrote back, my father would be ashamed you committed fraud for a vacation. She didn't reply after that. Later that night, Lucy and I sat on the couch, scrolling through streaming services we didn't have to share anymore. I felt lighter, like someone finally removed a 100-pound backpack from my shoulders. Lucy nudged me. You okay? Yeah, I said. Yeah, for the first time in forever. She wrapped her arm around me and rested her head on my shoulder. You did the right thing. I know, I said. I just didn't expect it to feel this peaceful. But the world wasn't done with us yet. Around 10 p.m., there was a knock at our door. Not a banging knock, more like a timid little tap. Lucy whispered, if it's Charlotte, we pretend we died. I opened the door a crack. It was Megan, holding a dying houseplant like a peace offering. Hi, she said. I didn't know where else to go. Lucy and I exchanged a glance. Megan stepped inside awkwardly. So, everything's kind of falling apart over there. Yeah, I said. We heard. She held the plant closer. They're freaking out because none of us know how to set up the utilities, or the Wi-Fi, or the phone plans, or the thermostat, or anything really. Lucy raised an eyebrow. They never learned? No, Megan said. They said that was your job. I snorted. Of course they did. Megan hesitated. I'm not here to fight. I just wanted to say I'm sorry for the stuff I didn't speak up about. Lucy softened a little. She motioned for Megan to sit. Megan placed the plant on our coffee table. Also, this plant is dying. I didn't know what else to bring. I poked the soil. It's mostly dust, Megan. Yeah, she said. Like our house right now. Lucy bit her lip, trying not to laugh. Megan looked at us, eyes wide and anxious. So, are you guys really done? Like, done? Yes, I said. We are. Megan nodded slowly. I figured. Charlotte is losing it. Shocking, Lucy said. She keeps saying you'll come crawling back, Megan mumbled. But I don't think you will. Lucy squeezed my hand. No, we won't. Megan got up. Okay, I should go back before they realize I left. She stopped at the door. For what it's worth, I think you two were the only sane people in the family. Then she left, and that was that. The days after were blissfully quiet. Just peace. Lucy and I went out more. Ate dinner without interruptions. Slept without worrying someone would call at 3 a.m. We even started planning a trip of our own. One we would pay for, choose, and enjoy without matching outfits or screaming twins. One night, as we sat on the couch watching a movie, Lucy said, You know, your family might never talk to us again. I shrugged. Good, she smiled. Yeah, good. And that's how it ended. Beautiful, quiet, clean distance. Turns out sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is cut the cord, especially when the cord is powering everyone else's chaos but your own. Guys, we are so close to hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps hit that 100,000 mark. Thanks for making this dream come true.